Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into two of the biggest challenges on the web right now. How do you find what you're looking for, and how do you trust what you actually find? It's this wild place with an incredible amount of information and just as many convincing fakes.
And really, this gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We're living in this strange new world where we have more access to knowledge than ever before, but at the same time, we have these unbelievable tools for creating things that are completely false. So how do we deal with that? Let's get into it, starting with that hunt for information. All right, first things first, access. Say you're looking for a specific book online. The sheer number of options is, well, it can be pretty overwhelming. It's like you're standing at the entrance to this giant, sprawling digital maze.
And that is the absolute key. It's not that there aren't enough places to look. The real trick is figuring out how to get through that maze. You see, every one of these digital libraries plays by its own rules, has its own specialty, its own set of problems. Picking the wrong one means you're either going to find what you need in seconds or you're going to be lost for hours. Okay, so think of this table as your map for that maze. It lays out the whole landscape for us. You've got Z Library, which is awesome for just browsing and discovering new stuff, but its web address can be a bit unstable. Then there's Library Genesis, or LibGen, which is an absolute beast for academic papers and textbooks, but you kind of have to know exactly what you want. The Internet Archive is your steady, legit option with a library-style lending system. Project Gutenberg is perfect for all the classics that are in the public domain. And of course, there's Script, which is the polished Netflix for Books subscription service. So let's make it really simple. Here's your cheat sheet. This is the toolkit for getting through the maze. If you're a student who needs a specific textbook for a class, you're going to want to go to Library Genesis. Just looking for a good novel? Z Library is a great bet. It's all about matching the right tool to what you're trying to do. Okay, so you've navigated the maze, you've found the information you were looking for. Awesome! But now we hit the really tricky part. Can you actually trust what you're seeing? Let's switch gears and talk about the other big challenge, the quest for truth. So this website, it's kind of mind-blowing and also a little scary. Every single time you refresh the page, an AI called StyleGAN2 creates a completely new, totally realistic human face. The person you're looking at, they're not real. They never existed. And this technology is being used all over the place to create fake profiles, which makes spotting them almost impossible. So how on earth does this even work? Well, the tech behind it is called a GAN, which stands for Generative Adversarial Network. And the most important word there is adversarial, because it's not just one AI working alone. It's actually two AIs locked in a constant battle with each other. And this is the perfect way to think about it. You've got the generator, that's your art forger. Its whole job is to create a perfect fake. Then you've got the discriminator, that's the detective. Its only job is to tell the difference between a real photo and the forger's fakes. They go back and forth millions of times. The forger gets better and better at making fakes, and the detective gets better and better at spotting them, until, eventually, the forger's fakes are so good that even the super smart detective can't tell the difference anymore. Now, that whole process sounds pretty much unbeatable, right? I mean, how do you fight that? But what if? What if there was a clever little loophole, a way to hack the system and turn this incredibly powerful tech against itself? And do it for just $100. And right here, this is the big aha moment. It turns out that training one of these GANs from scratch is super hard and costs a ton of money. So most of the people making fake profiles don't bother. They just go to thispersondoesnotexist.com and grab a face. That creates a bottleneck, a central weakness. If you can basically log everything that website produces, you can spot the fakes anywhere else. Of course, there's a catch. The website is just cranking out new faces nonstop. We're talking about 50 new, unique faces every single minute. If you wanted to build a detector, you'd have to download and save every single one of them. And that adds up fast. You'd be looking at 11 terabytes of image data every single year. That's a gigantic storage problem, way, way bigger than a $100 project can handle. So here's the brilliant solution. Instead of saving the huge image file, you use another neural network called FaceNet. It analyzes each face and boils it down to a tiny mathematical description, a string of numbers that represents its unique features. This little string of numbers is called a vector, and it's basically a unique fingerprint for that face. And the result of this process? It's just incredible. You get a 225-to-1 reduction in the amount of data you need to store. That impossible 11 terabyte problem, it suddenly becomes something you can easily manage on a cheap hard drive. And what's really cool is that this method is super tough. Even if someone tries to trick it by cropping the photo or adding some noise, that core fingerprint, the vector, is still close enough to get a match. And because you're saving the fingerprints as they're created, you can even tell someone the exact date and time their fake profile picture is generated. So we've got a map for the library maze, and we've got this clever hack for spotting fake faces. Let's pull these two ideas together. What does this all really mean for us, just trying to get by on the internet every day? This quote from the article about digital libraries just nails it. Finding the file is only the beginning. You still need the right tools, like a good PDF reader, to actually make sense of it. Access by itself isn't enough. You need the tools for understanding. And that's the exact same rule that applies to truth online. We live in a world where anyone can create a believable fake with just a click. So our digital toolkit can't just be about finding stuff anymore. It also has to be about questioning stuff. Our skills in detection have to get better just as fast as the technology for deception. And that kind of leaves us with this one big question. We have tools for access, and we're starting to build some pretty clever tools for detection. But as that line between real and fake gets blurrier and blurrier, what's the next tool we're all going to need? Maybe the most important tool of all is our own critical thinking. The real challenge is, how do we get better at using it?